Hello everyone, this is Jim Ogrozinski with this week's lecture video on Chapter 12. Just looking over the schedule, I will grade Assignment 3 sometime during the week. Also, you want to notice that there is no peer review activity scheduled for this assignment. There was none previously, so we went with that particular structure. So all you have to do is upload your GDoc link to the assignment folder in our Drive account there, and then upload your GDoc link to Blackboard, all right? We also have another quiz due. I want to remind everybody the quizzes are open. All of them should be open and remain open. So they are, the points accumulate. So I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to follow through and complete those quizzes. It will make an impact on your grade at the end of the semester. I imagine at some point I will have to close those up. All right. So that is the schedule. Let's get to the course units. Chapter 12, course unit, the instructions here for writing, the instructions for writing instructions. Hey, so I see I have here step 1 is to read exercise 1B at the bottom of page 419 or the top of page 420 in the ebook. The instructions are for writing a thorough guide for incorporating a visual. I do not care what it is, whether it's an image, a table, a graph, okay? Should include inserting the visual into a document as well as sizing the visual for effective placement and integrating the visual within the text of a document, like text wrapping. Use actual text. Demonstrate the outcome of the instructions. All right. I don't care what you use. It could be a copy and a paste from a paragraph that you have in previous writings, but you need to demonstrate how to integrate that visual and text wrap it and the various types of text wrapping that are available. So, as described in the exercise, assume the audience has no knowledge of your subject. Use visuals where appropriate. So, in your step to step, you might need to incorporate visuals along with your words, right? The purpose of the assignment is to inform and educate, so concise language utilizing the imperative mood, and I think that's critical, and we'll look at that in the PowerPoint in a second, with clear step-by-step instructions is the goal. So step 2 to this activity in this assignment is for you to read exercise 2 on page 419 or 420. All right, and create a set of interview questions as a means of checking the usability of your instructions. As exercise 2 states, you should interview users before and after. Okay, before and after. Before, to gauge the level of knowledge they have as to what process you are going to be describing, and after to see if your instructions were they were able to comprehend and understand what it is that you have instructed them to do. So this one is worth 50 points. Okay, just getting to the, let's get to the PowerPoint here. Now everybody knows that the Chapter 12 PowerPoint is uploaded to the course unit. So it says exercise 1B, how to incorporate a visual into a text document. Okay, this is the assignment. Please do not deviate. Every once in a while I'll have a random student who will do 1A. No, this is 1B. And then step 2 is number 2 right below it. So please, you can take a look at this in the PowerPoint or refer to your textbook. All right. As I mentioned earlier, it's a shame we're not in class. We would have had PB&J sandwiches during this week before break. So I just want to jump to the PowerPoint and point out a few of the slides here. I don't want to go through all of it. You can do that on your own. But I think it's critical that we focus on a few. You might want to take some notes down as I chat. So, audience and purpose are critical to writing instructions. Okay. Can you perform or carefully observe others perform the task you are describing? Will someone unfamiliar with the task you are describing be able to follow your instructions? The vocabulary here is critical. In order to write instructions, you have to be sure that the audience is aware of the vocabulary. If you have to refer to something that people may not know, you may have to do it in a way that would explain exactly how to go about that particular or what that particular term means, right? Are your instructions to coworkers sufficiently specific to ensure that the task can be completed accurately within the allotted schedule? So it could be a simple email instructions that you might have to send to a colleague or coworker. How do you change the print cartridge or toner cartridge in a copier? You can do it in 30 seconds yourself, but might take a little longer to organize your thoughts and describe that in an email. Okay, have you organized the instructions in a proper sequence? So we have a couple examples from the textbook about that, about instructions, and I don't want to go through those. Okay. Another thing that really is critical here as part of the audience and purposes, how do you take into account your customer's level of knowledge? Are your instructions written and illustrated appropriately for international readers? In some instances, you may be appealing to a wider audience. I'm not going to get into too much about warnings, legalities. You can read through the rest of the PowerPoint to obtain the basics of that type of a process, right? What's the best medium? Okay. How do these choices provide specific advantages and challenges as you compose instructions? Some instructions, as you can see here, are just plain diagrams with illustrations where you have to, you know, basically match up and build according to a sequence. So you have to make your instructions easy to follow, divide them in short, simple steps, and arrange the steps in correct sequence. So earlier in our team building activities, we talk about the ordering processes, right? Sequential, chronological. This is where a lot of these processes do come into play as in like writing instructions. Can steps be given in two ways? Can you label each step with a sequential number, or can you indicate a time sequence? So depending upon the activity, one might work more better than the other. Okay. Instructions for product assembly are usually organized into four parts: an introduction, required equipment and materials, procedure, and then conclusion. I always bring up IKEA furniture instructions in this particular activity because, you know, I mean, it's pretty much a visual medium that can cross all cultural boundaries. So the idea here is for everyone to understand just by the visuals. All right. Here's one example from the textbook. Also, language is critical. Keep in mind your average reader's level of technical knowledge. Avoid confusing terms. Don't include undefined abbreviations and acronyms. Do not use two different words for the same thing. It's critical. Do not give an obscure meaning to a word, and do not use unnecessary jargon. Okay? Now, the key to this is write in the imperative mood. Active voice, short commands. The active voice makes clear who is supposed to do what. There's a doer and something that is the action is being done to, all right? So the active voice uses fewer words. Pronouns allow you to write directly to the reader. You, right? The you viewpoint we looked at in earlier chapters. Pronouns pull the reader into the writing and make the writing relevant to the reader. So let's see here. Take a look at the section Write Directly to Your Reader. It'll give you examples of the passive and the active and the imperative, right? Clear and unclear, vague and precise. Precise instructions is critical, especially if there can be some sort of an element where somebody could actually harm themselves or burn themselves or some particular aspect of your instructions. Write short sentences, aim for one message in each sentence, break up information into smaller, easier to understand units. Use the present tense as much as possible. Keep subjects and objects close to their verbs. Remember, we are an SVO language. English is SVO, subject, verb, object. Put only and always and other conditional words next to the words they modify. Put if phrases after the main clauses to which they apply, not before. All right, so that is this is, and I do look at the language when I grade this significantly in this particular assignment, all right? This is one where your active voice, short sentences, the imperative mood is critical in writing instructions, right? So I'm not going to run through the warnings as far as legalities. We can always look, you can look through the textbook to answer some of the quizzes, right? We all know about red, orange, yellow, and blue, what kind of information they turn around. Those colors are set to illustrate. Okay. Sometimes the layout is, I'm going to leave the layout to you on this one. You might have to integrate them, whether you want to, you have to use the images, or you can go about how organizing it any way that you see as appropriate. All right, this is your assignment. Now, whether you use Google Docs or a Word doc, that is entirely up to you, as long as I can view it and it sits in the Google Drive folder. You can organize this and use any medium that you would like, right? So I'm going to leave that entirely up to you. So just closing here on the exercises again. You want to make sure that you have a step by step. You cannot assume that they have any prior knowledge. Google Docs might be a good medium for this. Also, Word is a little bit more of a complicated process. But everything from opening the document, selecting the text, to put in it, whether you import an image or a table from something on your computer or you find it on the internet, I will leave that entirely up to you and how to describe that process. All right. Okay, so this is about it for the lecture video. I'm getting close to 12 minutes here, so I'm going to stop rambling. If you have any questions, you know exactly where to reach me. Good luck and stay safe out there.